Intervoxel.
Hello, we're back with FYRKANT, and today we're gonna look at some power-ups in game. First, I just want to show that you have the basic ways to kill each other. It's just by jumping on the head of another one. So I have a demo level set up here, so this orange dude we just spam infinitely. Poor guy. So just jump on the enemy and you kill him, and you can also kind of jump on these blobs here, so and get stuck like this. The standard attack it's called the knife. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be, but I guess it maybe could look like a knife, and you can hold down also. So that's also one way to kill. Now I can just spam whatever power up I want. So let's start with power up number 1 and go all the way up to 13. So this power up was the super knife. It's just knife but very big, so I can like kill my enemies from all over here. Or for example, if my opponent would stay under here, I could hold down and kill him easily. Another thing we could try out is by moving our opponent over here, and then even the normal knife is actually long enough to kill the enemy through there. So that's good to know also. So let's see what the next power up is. Dynamite. This is a cool one. So the dynamite is basically a dynamite that you throw away and it places itself. You have 3 of those, the same as the super knife. That's the normal number, 3 of them. After 15 seconds these dynamites blow up. But that's only if you don't remotely control them before. Because you can use, if you have planted like 3 bombs, you can hold the up button and press attack. And you can blow them up anytime you want. Another good thing to know is that if you stand still, you throw it shortly, but if you run, you can throw them longer. And if you press down, you can just plant them where you're standing. Alrighty, let's see power up 3. This is the rocket. So when you shoot the rocket, you take over control of the rocket instead of your player. So now I can control this rocket to wherever I want and fly it for however long I want. This means, of course, that you are yourself a little bit vulnerable since you can't control your player, except the jump button actually makes you jump, so that's the only way to defend yourself. If I press the attack button, I blow the rocket up, and of course also if I hit a wall or the other player, it also blows up. There are some modifiers on this one as well. If I hold down, I can make the rocket start in a downward position, and the same way with up, I can make it so the rocket starts flowing upwards like that. Yeah. So that's the rocket. Let's see what we have next. We have the standard bomb. So this is just a bomb. It's like dynamite that it throws semi-long if you just press the attack button. If you run, it throws longer, and you can plant it with the down button. That's a simple one. Let's see the next one. Smoke grenade. So that's basically just it doesn't kill your opponents. It's mostly just something to hide in. You see that all the power-ups have the same color as your own player. So this becomes a pink cloud that I can hide in. I might change a lot of the functions on a lot of those power-ups also. Invisibility is just what it sounds like. There is actually a transparency of around 2%. I don't know if you can see it in the stream, but if I use the knife, I can localize where I want. So I wanted some power-ups to be both kind of good and bad. It's good because you can hide from your opponents with invisibility, but then you can get lost yourself also and basically fall out of the level or something like that. Okay, let's check the next one. Doppelganger. This makes a copy of yourself. You see here this guy who runs around, and he can even change color if he jumps on a blob. He cannot kill an opponent by jumping at them, but if your opponent thinks that it's actually you and they try to kill you, then the doppelganger drops a bomb. So the doppelganger actually copies your movement, but also adds some of its own movement to it, so it kind of moves around quite strangely, so you should be able to spot that it's a doppelganger. Let's see, the next power-up. Laser gun. So this is just a simple 1 bullet. And just, yeah, I guess you can shoot your enemies from far away, but it's just 3 small bullets. Kind of weak power-up. This is much more powerful. This is like throws away I think 4 bullets, and they're also spread a little bit randomly. But you can basically like jump. If you jump and shoot, you see that you can spread them out a lot. So it's a quite powerful power-up. Laser bomb. That's a bomb, so you can drop it and throw it long by running. But instead of blowing up, it shoots out lasers in all different directions. First I was going to program this so that the bullets flew out at the same time in each direction, but for some reason I just created the bullets in the step event, and then it got this circular pattern, but it was kind of cool, so I just got this. That's a good power up. Kamikaze is just what it sounds like. You can only blow yourself up with the attack button, that's all it does. So make sure you're close to at least one opponent before blowing yourself up. And since kills is 2 points and death is only -1 point, you still win in the long term if you kill guys with the kamikaze. Float mode is kind of almost like a power down. You jump really slow and floaty, and you can jump like extremely high. So that's mostly there for as a fun detail. The last power up, big rocket. This is a rocket that you cannot steer. Whoops. It's just a big rocket that just flows in random direction, kind of forward, but not in any super controlled way. But they're funny. Another thing I could show is that the doppelganger, if the doppelganger jumps on a blob, here you see it, I think it became green, the last thing that happens. Then the rocket, for some reason, gets a new color on the smoke. Now the color of the smoke is green. And I don't know why. Never mind. So that's the power-ups and some tricks in FYRKANT. So let's see if we can break the game. Nope.
Och trafik med bilar såväl som kundvagnar.
Och som rullar ut här nu är då överfulla kundvagnar.
Kommer en hjullastare full med kundvagnar, vet du, det är fint. Det är stordrift, det vet du, det är stordrift.